What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. In this one, we have got an awesome topic, which is why I stopped smoking weed. All right, now I understand that this video is going to get a lot of pushback. Many weed smokers will get really touchy on this subject. They'll say stuff like this, like, oh, but it helps me. And everyone is different. And that has some truth to it. My experience might be a little bit different than your experience, but what I need you to understand is that I am going to ask you to go a little bit deeper. And I'm even going to talk about one of the best things that weed ever did for me and how it positively impacted my life at the end of this video. But I want you to think about how weed is truly affecting you in your mind, your body, and your soul. Now, I believe that smoking weed is not inherently wrong. I don't think that it's inherently evil. And I think that it is even useful in some rare cases. I am mainly talking to the bums who are living in their parents' basement in their 20s, because that was me. I was the one that was smoking weed in my early 20s, not doing what I knew that I should have been doing. A lot of these videos that I make on this channel are messages to my younger self, things that I wish that I understood sooner. So hopefully some of you guys, depending on where you're at in your journey, can watch these and learn from my mistakes, learn the things that it took me forever to learn. And stick around in this video because it might spark something. It might not be every single one of these points that land with you, but maybe one of them causes you to, like I said, go a little bit deeper and think a little bit more about exactly what the effects that weed are having on your life. So what you need to understand, number one, the very act of smoking weed makes you a terrible judge of how positive it is for your life. Please keep that in mind. I'm going to read that again. The very act of smoking weed makes you a terrible judge of how positive it is impacting your life. The clarity of a sober mind looks back and often thinks, what was I doing? What was I doing? Because a lot of us, when we're smoking weed really regularly, we're becoming dependent on it. Our mind is becoming dependent on it. Our mind tells us, yeah, we need that. It's better for us. It's different for us than everybody else. Everybody else might have a bad experience. It might make them lazy bums and their life might not be going anywhere, but it's different for me. I'm different. It's making me creative. It's making me do all these other things. So it doesn't make you a good judge of how well the weed is actually positively impacting your life. Number two, it sabotages your energy, all right? It shuts down your brain. It makes you lazy, unmotivated, and you can't get anything done. This is the typical stoner vibe, all right? This is how it affects most people. That's why there is a stereotype of the classic stoner. Why are you trying to turn off your brain? So many people say this. They say, yeah, I smoke weed because I can't turn off my brain. This was a question I had to ask myself. Why am I trying to turn off my brain? Most people need to have their brains on more. But people say, oh, but I can't relax. I can't do it. I need the weed in order to help me. You don't need to relax. Do you know how I know? Do you know how I know that you don't need more time relaxing? It's because you're lazy. And because you need to do more. Look at your life right now. Just like look around. Are you where you want to be? Probably not. Relaxing? Definitely not going to get you there. And number three, people think that weed is helping them relax, but it's a lie. The best way that you can relax is to sleep more. Spend time with your eyes closed in your bed. 75% of Americans are underslept. And yet weed dramatically decreases your sleep quality. It decreases REM sleep, your rapid eye movement sleep. The quality of your sleep is deteriorating, okay? This shows the absolute delusion of, oh, it helps me. It's so much better for me. No, it's not even helping you relax. It's actually causing you to get worse sleep. If you care about your sleep, go take some sleep supplements. Go take magnesium. Go take inositol. If you're having trouble actually getting into bed, go take 2 milligrams of melatonin. Don't smoke weed. That makes your sleep worse. It makes you need more sleep because it decreases the quality. So then you have to make up for it in quantity, and you spend more time sleeping and less time doing. When your natural body is supposed to be able to get into REM sleep easier. So it's a complete lie. Number 5, you are nerfing your willpower when you smoke weed. With food, you're stuffing your face. With work, you are working so much slower, your productivity is getting nerfed, and you are nerfing your willpower with lust. Weed makes people eat more, sleep worse, work less productively, and lust harder. I personally once thought, oh, I'll just use weed to unwind. Do I really want to unwind? No. I don't want to unwind. I don't want to relax. I want to be a degenerate. That's why I was smoking weed. And I would lie to myself and say, oh, it's just because it's the only thing that can turn my brain off and I need to get relaxed. I want to get into a parasympathetic state. No, I just want to be a degenerate. That's everybody. They want to eat something because everything tastes better. They want to sleep worse, even though they tell themselves that somehow they think that they're becoming more rested. They want to work less productively, and they want to get horny. I couldn't stop falling into lust when I would smoke weed. This may not be as much of a problem for other people, but it was very, very apparent for me. And it was ultimately one of the main things that made me completely quit. Cut it out of my life completely. I almost made some very, very stupid decisions around girls when I was high. It almost felt like I was possessed. I would tell myself, no. I am doing NoFap. I am not going to be a degenerate. I am not going to beat off. And then I would smoke. And I would be having such a good time, man. Keep the good times rolling. You know what would be even better than eating a full bag of Doritos? Busting a nut while high. Yeah. That's what I would start to think every single time. And I would lose the battle time and time again to the point where I just realized, wow, like it's legitimately like I'm a different person when I smoke weed. It's legit like I'm a different person. It erodes my willpower so much to where I wake up the following morning and I think like, what happened last night? Not only did I cheat on my diet, not only did I not do the work that I was supposed to do, I slept worse, so now I'm groggy this morning, and I lost my NoFap streak. Love it. Thanks, weed. I appreciate you helping me relax. You're really helping me a lot there, all right? Number 6, even though the physical hangover of weed isn't there, Like when you drink a lot of alcohol, you'll just feel like absolute garbage the next day. And I don't drink alcohol because of this. In fact, weed was actually something that I used in my 20s and late teens in order to avoid alcohol and still have a good time. Because I enjoyed weed a lot more than I enjoyed alcohol. Alcohol would make me feel like crap. It would ruin my physique because I was into working out. It was extra calories. It was all this type of stuff. It was just bad for my body. It felt toxic. So I stopped drinking alcohol and I replaced it with weed because weed allowed me to still be able to be a degenerate, but it wouldn't affect my physical body quite as much as alcohol would. So even though the physical hangover isn't there, you break so many of your habits when you decide to smoke weed. Often you let yourself down. It's you just wanting to be a degenerate. And this causes you to feel a strong sense of shame, of distrust in yourself. One of the biggest problems with men today is that they don't keep the promises that they make to themselves. How are you going to keep the promises that you make to yourself? You have willpower, more willpower to actually do the things that you need to do. Weed strips you of that. At the very least, it sabotages it slowly as time goes on. Sometimes without you knowing. Sometimes when you are completely convinced that you're getting more positive out of it than the negative, all the while it is secretly sabotaging your entire life. Less self-belief, and it creates this sort of spiral where you're not keeping the promises to yourself. You end up in more shame, so you smoke more weed to make you feel better, to disconnect, to escape reality, and the cycle continues. It just continues. And the people that you hang around when you smoke weed are all going through the exact same thing. People are all becoming more degenerate together. They're all losing their willpower together. They're all getting less sleep together. They are all falling off a cliff together. And that, my friends, is the definition of misery and delusion loves company. Number 8, I ended up getting stricken with terrible paranoia from smoking weed. And it was ultimately the main reason why I decided to stop. The lust was a big reason as well, but it was the paranoia that finally scared me so much that I had to quit it altogether. I had multiple panic attacks from smoking weed, and yet that paranoia and those panic attacks were actually a good thing. They were the best thing that happened to me. They were the most positive effect on my life that weed ever had, was to make me incredibly paranoid to the point where I thought that I was going to die. A panic attack. That's what it feels like. You feel like you are going to die. You're stricken with so much anxiety that you can't do anything. You can't operate. You're stuck in fight or flight. But that was the best thing that weed ever did for me. You want to know why? Because it made me reflect on my life. It made me see through all the bullshit, the lies that my brain was telling itself, that, oh, this is a good thing, this is positive for me. No, it said, you are nowhere near where you want to be. It made me incredibly self-conscious. And I thought, I am someone who has so much potential. Like, there are so many different things I could be doing. I could be making more money. I could be helping more people. I could be spending this time doing something so much more productive, but instead I am sitting here craving degeneracy, and it's getting worse and worse. That paranoia, those panic attacks, were ultimately what shattered my whole world. And it showed me, hey, it's doing a lot more bad for you than it is good. I realized I wasn't living up to my potential. I realized that I wanted to chase a better life. And ultimately, I realized that I needed to hold myself to a much, much higher standard. Some of you guys may be thinking, oh, but Brandon, I don't have as much potential as you. I'm not as good looking as you. I'm not as jacked as you. I'm not as charismatic as you. Excuses. You have a lot more potential than you realize. So hopefully this video helped you guys out. Hopefully one of these points landed with you. Hopefully one of these points resonated with you and will help you ultimately decide to kick the bucket. Make sure to drop a like on this video down below. Make sure to drop a comment. Drop a singular thumbs up in the comment section if you guys watched this video all the way to the end, because if you did, it's very impressive. You guys have got an awesome attention span. And I will see you guys all in the next video.